Welcome. My name is Linda Howe. I am the author of How to Read the Akashic Records and Healing Through the Akashic Records. And I'm delighted that you've chosen to be with me for this time. Over our time together, we're going to do a few different things. We're going to do a brief meditation. I'm going to talk to you about the New Age and what the New Age is and really why it's important to us. And finally, last but certainly not least, I'm going to let you know the 10 most important things about the Akashic Records. Now, certainly you're probably thinking, the what? The Akashic Records. And I'm going to tell you all about it. The Akashic Records, though, first, just so we can get started, just so you know, it's a spiritual resource for personal empowerment and growth and development. So just kind of hold that idea as we proceed, and I am going to tell you everything you need to know and probably a little bit more. But before we go any further, what I'd like us to do is to take a few minutes to do a meditation. Now, doing this meditation, just follow along to the best of your ability. You know, sometimes it's easy to do and sometimes it's a little bit more difficult depending on where you are and what's going on. But if you would just join me so that we can connect and then proceed with our conversation. So, I like to do this with my glasses off. So if you would please, wherever you are and whatever's happening for you, if you would take a moment now and close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, if you would open your awareness. Okay? It's almost as if when you close your eyes, you quiet down a bit. Wonderful. Getting a sense of yourself, wherever you are, and whatever's happening. See? Good. And by now, I'm sure you've noticed that you really are somewhere. You really are a person in a body, and you occupy a very particular place on the planet. Great. And you want to scan kind of, quickly, yes, from the tips of your toes, okay, up the front of your body to the top of your head, and then down your back body to your heels. Wonderful. And now let's make the return trip from your heels up to your hips, your shoulders, up over the top of your head, streaming down to the tips of your toes. This really helps us to get a sense of where we are, you see, and to really get a sense that you do indeed occupy a very particular place at this moment in space and in time. Excellent. And now, if you would, direct your attention to the soles of your feet. The soles of your feet making contact with the planet, with the earth. Yes? Perfect. And almost as if you had eyes in the soles of your feet. I know it's a funny idea, but if you would peer down into the earth itself, excellent, through the soles of your feet, and you will see, or maybe you'll sense, that there is life, there is an energy, there is a pulse within the planet itself that is seeking you out and finding you right here, right now. Good. So that all of the resources that live within the planet, all the life, all the energy, all the wisdom. Seeking you out and finding you in this very precise location. Excellent. All the resources that you need as you make your walk in this lifetime. Finding you, supporting you. You might want to sink your feet in a little just to get a sense of that. The fact that you are indeed supported by life. Wonderful. And now, if you would, direct your attention, okay? Go to the crown of your head in your mind's eye, okay? Go to the crown of your head and look up from there, okay? With your inner eye, look up and you will see there is a point. It's a point of light, really, approximately 18 inches above the crown of your head. And if you would let yourself go to that location. Good. And at that location, if you peer up, like you're peering up out, you see, looking in front, to the right. You can look behind yourself and then to the left as well. And at this point, you will see that there is light streaming toward you from every dimension of the universe. Places you know, places you have yet to discover. There is light that has been seeking you out and finding you. There is light that has been traveling with you as your soul has made its journey, its human journey, through space and time. And that light that has been with you since the beginning of your time finds you here now. Excellent. And so, as you bring your attention back to your ordinary self, the light pours over you in front, behind, and on both sides, streaming down so quickly, so elegantly, so that you are, in this moment, surrounded by light. Wonderful. Taking a moment to let yourself know that you are indeed the space where earth and the heavens meet. You are the zone where these two intersect and become alive through you, as you, in this moment. And in this awareness, excellent. That's nice, isn't it? Let yourself know this. Good. Bringing your attention back to your ordinary self. Wherever you are, do you see? Bring yourself back. Open your eyes. You might want to wiggle your fingers and toes a bit, do you know, just to get a sense of being present. Okay? That's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. So, do you know, I always like to start things with a meditation like that so that, well, for a couple of reasons. One is it's really, I mean, you felt it, right? It's great to calm down. Do you know, life is pretty busy for most of us, and it's wonderful to take a few moments to calm ourselves. And the other thing that's so great is to get a sense of the truth, really, that we are much greater than just our ordinary selves walking around, you see. And one of the ways we come to know that, or that gets real for us, is when we do a meditation like that. So I just, thank you for joining me in that. And please feel free to do that anytime you want. It's yours now. Okay. So I want to talk about the new age. Do you know, I have to tell you, well, you know this. There are a lot of ideas about this new age. And I know myself, for so long, I've heard like, oh, the new age and what it is. And actually, I wasn't really quite sure what it is. Okay? I mean, I don't know. I thought maybe it's a bookstore. I don't know what it is, right? And I think it's really very important to get a sense of what the new age is and why it matters to us. I mean, we're just regular people, right? So what could the new age mean for people like you and I? Yes? So let me tell you what I've been observing, okay? And perhaps you've seen this as well. One of the things I have to tell you, if you've read the papers lately, yes, you see, and as I have certainly seen, we are in times of dramatic change. Okay, dramatic, sometimes exciting, not sometimes exciting in ways we would prefer not, right? Prefer not. Excitement is sometimes good and sometimes it's a little scary. But we are absolutely in times of change. Life today is radically different from what it was 50 years ago. It's actually radically different from what it was 10 years ago. Okay, 10 years ago, I remember when we were all getting computers and email addresses and how we were all like, oh my goodness. I mean, it was like someone was stirring the pot. I mean, it was a big deal. And now these are the most natural part of our everyday comings and goings. I mean, it's fascinating how much change we encounter in a very short period of time. So one of the things we notice is that, okay, we're in times of radical change. And in these times, if you look outside, you see that so many of the supports, so many of the structures that have been supporting us as human beings, right, in the world, things that used to be very helpful aren't so helpful anymore for a number of reasons. One is they're falling apart, okay? And I don't want to be, scary or doom and gloom or anything. But, the fact of the matter is, when we look out into the world, we see all of the systems, external, right? Systems and structures that have been supporting us, for centuries are no longer doing the job. And so we see that our governments they're up for grabs, basically, okay? I mean, listen, we all know this. We may not like it, but things are a little scrambled right now, okay? So we have change in government. We have change in our economic systems. We're seeing, things falling apart and new things emerging. I mean, dramatic shifts in our economic systems, okay? Our education systems, okay? The way we've done education for the past few hundred years, it's not enough anymore, okay? And everyone kind of knows it. And, basically, if you have kids, it's a little scary, yes? So we see this. And the other thing that we see is that our traditional religions, which really, listen, I belong to a traditional religion. I was raised in one. But we see that somehow they're not keeping up, or they're not as supportive as they used to be. And so we're left really, I don't know about you, but I've certainly been a little nervous, right? So what we see is that those external supports are no longer functioning for us, right? And so we have to find new ways. And that's what the New Age is about. The New Age is about each and every one of us stepping up, stepping into a greater area of personal responsibility, where we place our attention on the internal supports, right? Now, what we know, we all know this, is that deep inside each and every one of us, there is something greater than we are. Sometimes we're really aware of it, and sometimes we go years without any awareness of it. Sometimes we totally forget. And that's okay. We're people. That happens, But the fact of the matter is, we know that at this point in time, in order to successfully navigate these times of wild and crazy change, yes, then we must find new resources to enable us to be the people we are meant to be, really. Everybody, each and every one of us has within that innate desire. It's so deep. Listen, I want to be the best Linda that I can be. And I know that you want to be the best you that you can be in this lifetime. And if our external supports aren't working, it's time to go within. So, here we are in this new age. A few other things I want you to know about it. One of the other things that's fascinating to me is there's the issue of freedom, right? And in the new age, the idea of freedom, okay, is that we're dealing with freedom from the old ways, old ideas. We don't have to do things the way our grandmothers and grandfathers did. Now, if they're helpful, we want to, right? A lot of that stuff we want to take with us because it's wonderful, right? But some of it isn't helpful anymore. It doesn't apply, okay? So we have the opportunity to become more free of old ideas that don't work. And so we have this freedom from the old, but we also have the freedom we have the freedom to explore our own inner worlds. We have the freedom to explore new options. Do you know, there have been times in history where there were great explorers. Do you know, and they, what they would do, people woke up and they said, oh my heavens, well, maybe the world is round, right? And they set out on these missions to find out. It was a great age of exploration. It was very physical, right? People built boats, they got in them, they traveled all over, they got in their caravans and traveled, over continents. A tremendously exciting time. We are in a very similar time, only this time the explorations are internal, you see. The frontier is the inner self, the inner realms. And so it is our great privilege to have the freedom to explore those things. What we see in the New Age as well is that there are two, I call them the imperatives of the New Age, which is really imperative is really a nice word for the musts, or maybe the shoulds. Okay, we don't like to use should. It's it's not the best word. Anyway, it's a wonderful word in the right context. But all right, but listen, enough about that. Here's what the imperatives are of the New Age. There are two, okay? The first imperative of our time is that each and every one of us become more conscious of our own soul. Now, the fact is, you're already conscious of your soul. Of course you are, right? This isn't like you're totally asleep and now you're going to wake up, but it's about waking up even more, right? And going forward, continuing in this waking up. So the imperative and the great opportunity is to become more conscious of our own soul.